Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello to everybody in the chat. Some of you I just saw. We did a fun members only live with Oliver, who slept over. My grandson, I had him on. He wanted to do a video yesterday. He loves YouTube and he wants to be a YouTuber, but he is also sick. So he has a lot of time to figure it out. And we just went and did a little bit of a members only live, which was really fun. So here I am. Welcome. Great to see everybody in the chat. Welcome to all the members there that I see as well. Thank you so much for your support too. Thank you, my mods, for being here. Nancy's here. I think my Tony. Oh, yep. There's my Tony. I'm not sure if Dip's here. I'm going to keep an eye out for her too. Welcome. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult, where I recap the Scientology news that has the internet buzzing. We talk about my 35 years in Scientology and how I left and got out with 3 generations of my family. I also will jump on and do interviews with people within the community, people who are protesting, people who are live streaming, other ex-Scientologists. Yesterday, I did what I think is probably one of my favorite interviews with Louis Repetto. And you got to go find it on the channel, but prepare yourself because I learned things about the techniques, the mind control techniques in Scientology that even I didn't know. I've had them done on me, but I did not know. I didn't know the lengths they went to. I know they went through mail, but Louis Repetto really lays out how that happened. It's an excellent video, and I'm going to have him on again probably later this week so we can do more of a deeper dive into why Scientology is a mind control cult. We often say that it is. We talk a lot about it in more general terms, but I thought it would bring a greater understanding if we can explain and give examples of what that mind control actually looks like. So that is what we're doing. But for now, welcome here to this recap. Hit that like button on the way in, and everybody hit that subscribe button as well. I would greatly appreciate it. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today. And some of that is going to be, we're going to chat about some things are being shaken up. There's some changes at the Aftermath Foundation board. Going to talk about that. We're going to look at a little bit into something happening in the UK in regard an investigation that is happening involving Scientology, some things that happened during the protest last night, quite a few things actually, along with some protest news from around the country and even outside of the country. We have a little clip from Switzerland that's going to be coming up, as well as a party that happened in Clearwater where they're doing the first L. Ron Hubbard birthday event that gets done and recorded. Then it gets edited so they can take out any screaming protesters. And then it's sent out to all the organizations, and they're all going to have their L. Ron Hubbard birthday event on March 30th. So that's going to be happening. That's going to be happening everywhere. Okay, we're going to kick it off, though, with a little video that a subscriber sent me. I thought this was so cute. She's wearing her Life After a Cult merch, and it's so super cute. It's super fast. So you got to watch her. You'll blink and it'll be gone. But I love this. Not so stealth, she calls it. Hold on. She's just really fun sharing how when she wants to be stealth, if you're going outside on a mission and you don't want to be so obvious that you're a huge fan of SPTV, you might not want to wear your merch out. But otherwise, it is a great time, anytime to wear that out. I'm putting it in an order myself today because I need some of my own merch. I really want it. I got my eye on a lot. Hey, Dip Me in Glitter. Good to see you. I see you there. All right. Now, let's jump over and talk about some news with the Aftermath Foundation. There are some new board members coming on. So we're going to hop over to the website and take a look at the new board members. John Atack is one of them. You may have heard of him. There's a lot of content on YouTube with him. He was a public Scientologist for 9 years till he left in 1983. He has published hundreds of articles, several books. My earring just fell out. We're going to let that go, probably because I knew that back was too small. It was my only green. So I guess I better take this one off or it'll just look funny. But that was my green. He wrote a book too. He wrote Barefaced Messiah in 1987. That was a great book. So he is going to be new to the Aftermath Foundation board. And Phil Jones. Now, Phil Jones, I would love to interview him. I need to figure out how to get a hold of him. But he did an interview with Scientology, Peeling the Onion. Oh my gosh, it was such a great interview, learning about his story. Take tissue with you. Take tissue with you. You're going to bawl like a baby, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. It's heartbreaking what happened with his children. And great to see him. He was also involved in getting the billboard up that got taken down. And he and his wife had gotten up other billboards before that had to do with raising awareness about Scientology. So he is on there. And then Stephanie Hutchison. Stephanie was never in Scientology, but's been involved in exposing the truth about Scientology since 2017. And I think that's it. I think that's it so far. So there are some new members on the Aftermath Foundation board, which is interesting. And I was updated on all this by MARILYN HONIG over at Coffee Cults and Crafts. She did a video about it, and we're going to just take a look at a quick little clip of that. Down below are links to everything, and you can go down and see the full videos and support the creators that you want to support. I just give you a little pick and a snippet. It doesn't do justice to the whole thing, but let's pop into Marilyn's.
Something I was thinking about is that, there should be a lot of foundations for this cause, right? There's quite a bit of people that were abused by Scientology. They're still struggling, that have been out for years. And there's also people that are yet to come out. So maybe, the newer generation that would be coming out, it would be good to have people that were, I think it's important to have people that are trauma informed, that are more diverse, but also I'm just hoping that these newer people, these younger people that would be coming out now, would not have the water under the bridge with some of the quote OGs. I was told by Mike that they were all looking for replacements, all the current board members. They have added 3 more. Fair enough.
And that's interesting that they're replacing themselves. That I had not heard, but per MARILYN, what she shared there, that Mike Rinder, and then I'm assuming it would be Claire Headley and Mark Headley are replacing themselves on the board. So we'll have to see. But that was some news that MARILYN HONIG shared yesterday on a video. And you can see the full video. There's a link down below, and Nancy puts the links in the chat as well. Definitely something to check out. We're also going to check out, here's what we're going to check out. This stuff happening in the UK. This makes me so happy because the ties between Scientology claiming to help people with drug addiction, it's just criminal. It's criminal. It should be criminal. But I think they might be finding out. So there is an article that came out in The Guardian. Let's see if we can get rid of that. And it says Scientology-linked UK rehab center investigated by charities watchdog. Case opened after observer investigation found that vulnerable people were allegedly subjected to psychological drills at Narconon UK that left them broken and traumatized. A Scientology-linked addiction charity accused of subjecting vulnerable people to psychological drills that left them broken and traumatized is being investigated by Britain's charities watchdog. The Charity Commission said it had opened a regulatory compliance case into Narconon UK, which claims to help people become drug-free for good, and has been promoted on the NHS website to examine concerns about its governance, administration, and management. This is great news because this is very true. These are vulnerable people already who need true and actual help, but somehow get caught up in Scientology's Narconon program, and they don't receive that help. Instead, what they receive is Scientology. And what they're talking about when they talk about these psychological drills are training routines in Scientology. And we've talked about this a lot. These training routines that people do that we had to do from childhood to train you to sit there so you can be unmoved by what you hear, what you see, what's said to you. You just keep your training routines in. You'll hear that phrase, keep your TRs in. That's a Scientology phrase. And I can't even imagine detoxing from drugs and being made to do those drills. And that is why they are being looked into. The case comes after an observer investigation last month raised questions about practices at a facility run by Narconon in Heathfield, East Sussex. Former members in the program were put through intense exercises likened to a form of obedience training. Ex-patients and staff described how people were expected to follow repetitive commands, such as pointing at objects, sitting perfectly still, or answering the same question over and over again for hours at a time. People that sounds straight up Scientology. Some describe suffering extreme reactions to the exercises, such as panicking, zoning out, or going into trance-like states. Totally real. One person said it felt like their mind had been shattered into a million pieces. Another said, you're helpless there, and the only way out is blind submission or lose thousands of pounds. That's right, because people pay all this money to go, and then you're like, well, do I see it through or do I leave and say goodbye to that money? If I'd had any concept of what the program actually was, I would have never signed up. It's such a great article. I got the whole thing linked below so you can read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it is a little lengthy, but it's very informative. It is very accurate. And I really hope that it opens more eyes and more hearts to why there are these techniques in Scientology that are not only just not helpful, but can be actually damaging to people, especially people who are vulnerable and in that moment need real help, real help. All right, so that is that over in the UK. Now, last night in Hollywood on L1 Hubbard Way, the protests were going on and something very interesting happened. Let's take a look at this. There was a man who came up to D.O.A, Scotty, and asked for help. Let's take a look at this and then we will talk about it.
From the church, do you guys have a little...
Let me just back that up a little.
Church, do you guys have a little...
And the man says that I was banished from the church. Do you have a pamphlet or have a way to get, where I can get a hold of the organization to help me?
Get ready. Let's have it. Go.
How you doing?
I've been banished from the church. Do you guys have a little card, business card?
You've been banished from the church?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I got the number. Were you just banished?
I don't want to discuss it because they're probably listening to me right now.
They are. What is the Aftermath Foundation, guys? Here.
The Aftermath Foundation?
Yeah.
It's right here. Isn't this right here? 1-800. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. I got this.
I'm sorry. 888-30.
888 3002. Aftermath.
Are you a
Don't ask too
I
much
was
questions.
banished from the church.
Oh, dude,
I don't want to answer a bunch of questions. They're probably listening to me right
There you
now.
go.
okay.
Okay.
Thank
There's
you
a
very
whole-
What's the
much.
name of your organization and the phone number?
Yeah, there's SPTV, Suppressive Person TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're just go
TV
online.
like television?
Yeah, just put SPTV, and you'll find a bunch of former Scientologists who grew up in Scientology.
Yeah, I'm 100% for LRH, but I don't know what
Okay,
happened
guys,
to the
I'm
rest
gonna
of it.
restart the
Well,
live right
thank you,
now.
sir.
Angel,
Good
post the
luck.
phone number
Yeah.
here.
And my
Good luck. They gave him the information and wished him good luck. Somebody was asking, Rachel's Orchid, do you think he was real, Nat? I would assume everybody is real until they prove otherwise, because you know what? If we're too suspicious and paranoid, like Scientology is, then we don't help anybody. And even if he wasn't real, what is the harm or damage to anybody or the organization? Nothing. He got a phone number. All of this is public information. And I know that, yes, we'll say to Scientology plant people in certain situations to cause problems and harass protesters. Yes. But we don't need to be, or I should say, I should just speak for myself. I don't have as much, it's something to be aware of, but not something I'm afraid of. Anyone I meet who's asking help, I'm making the assumption that they need that help. That's just my 2 cents on it. Otherwise, like I said, people who genuinely need help will be greeted in a way that's not warm, not accepting. And for someone to come out of Scientology and ask for help is huge. So I rather make the mistake of trusting too many people who maybe are not real or there for the right reasons than not trusting the one person or somebody who where they had the courage to come forward and ask for that help, to walk up to a bunch of people live streaming. And I did not share an image of the guy, but it's out there. And so unfortunately, Scientology already knows who he is if he was worried about that. And I hope that he gets the help that he needs. And this is also why we need more than one foundation, because there are going to be different types of people that come out of Scientology, and they'll have different situations. And some were public people, members who were never staff members and are comfortable going to anybody for help. Some are going to be ex-organization members that were there when some of the board members were there that they had problems with. But that's why we need more. We need more organizations. We need a variety of ways to help people. I think it's great. I think it's all good. And yeah, Rachel, I think he's going to get the help he needs. Hopefully he does call the Aftermath Foundation and find some help there. But it still was really cool because I've been telling you guys, we're hearing a lot more about people leaving Scientology, or people who've left Scientology that were afraid to connect with other people who are out, are now coming out of the woodwork to do so. You know what it feels like, everybody? It feels like the Wizard of Oz when the house lands on the witch and all the munchkins come out. The house has landed, and it has landed on Scientology. And ex-members and people who are too afraid to leave are all coming out of the woodwork now to find community. And it is very isolating and lonely often when you leave Scientology, because you walk away from everything. Your family, your friends, everything for the most part, unless you got people who leave with you, then you have them, which I was fortunate to have that. But even then it took me 2 years to execute a plan to leave that involves my family. Also on L. Ron Hubbard Boulevard yesterday, Tao was live streaming and protesting. He had a great sign and caught some traffic happening too. It's kind of funny when you think about it. There's a traffic jam at a human trafficking cult, but let's take a look at what Tao was doing just off of L. Ron Hubbard Way yesterday.
This right now is the utmost priority while I'm here. While I have the time and the privilege and the honor to be here right now to raise awareness, this is the priority right now. I'm gonna lose my voice though. Oh, there's somebody entering Scientology right there. Can you see them? A few of them are going in today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Scientology's a cult. It's a cult. Scientology traffics children. Oh, traffic jam. Uh-oh. Human traffickers. Child traffickers. Uh-oh. The traffic jam in there. Oh, God, Scientologists don't know how to drive. They do not know how to drive. We're seeing it live, guys. Scientology's a cult. Scientology. This right now.
I thought that was funny. Whoa. Little traffic jam in there. And for the record, I don't think that all Scientologists don't know how to drive. Just a few. And they're probably frazzled. I thought there was an in and out, but maybe there's just the one in there. And it makes sense that it would be busier because there's just a lot going on right now with, even though the L. Ron Hubbard birthday event was happening in Florida, I don't doubt that things are busy for Scientology right now, not because of people coming in, but more because Scientology is trying to deal with all of this growth of these protests and billboards going up and people leaving in larger numbers than I've seen in the past. Let me say that. Larger numbers for sure. Okay, now let's talk about Scientology Audit, Streets LA, William Gude getting served. Someone's attempting to get a restraining order on him, which he called from the beginning. And I love how he's just so laid back about it. Process server walks up, no big thing. Unlike Scientology, where when I worked reception in Scientology, we were trained and drilled not to accept anything. It was like hands up and off and not to accept anything ever when you're at reception. I now know it's because of the process servers. At the time, I didn't know that. I just thought, so weird. Why would they tell us not to accept things at reception? Anyways, let's just take a look at this.
Oh, thank you. A little late though. Look, yeah, she's serving me. Look at this. She's serving me. Oh wait.
You got served. Second I walked away, you get served.
Now, guys, look at this. A notice hearing on 3/19. What's the date today, guys? Today's the 16th. What's the problem with this? You have to be served within what? 5 business days of the hearing. This is no good. On 19th. You know who will not be showing up there? Me. I won't be showing up there. No, my lawyer's going to appear for me and she's going to have this thrown out. It's a restraining order. Or no, an attempt to get a restraining order. An attempt. Again, let's see here.
The funny thing is, the twist there, the plot twist, is you have to deliver it, I think, 5 days before the actual hearing itself. And this is like 3 days before. So like he's saying, his lawyer's going to show up and get it thrown out. This was an attempt by the owner of La Poubelle to get a restraining order on him. Go watch his whole video because he goes on to actually read through it and calls out all of the ridiculousness about it. Oh, it was just fantastic. Stinky Cat, yes, his nose looks great. As I understand it, he had it reset. It was reset and it was a little rough, but he was feeling better this morning. So he was out today, again, protesting. I know when we had him on the channel the other day, he was going to be going in to get it done and mentioned like that he'd have to wear something, but that he wasn't going to wear it. So it looks like he did get it reset. So that is good news. And it does look great. Jeanette Brown, thank you so much for becoming a member. Yay. Thank you for that. Okay. Yep, that's right. There are lots of lies in that paperwork. It was really interesting to hear him just really lay it out. Last night, something got caught that if you blinked, you might have missed it. And we're going to go look at Jessica Palmadesa's stream because La Poubelle Security shoved Solomon. And if you don't know, Solomon is the youngest person that I'm aware of that's protesting Scientology and outside of La Poubelle. I think he's 16 or 17 years old. And he has just kind of bloomed. He's been out there for months with William Gude and other people and learning about his rights and protesting. It's been interesting to see. But you'll see it's a little shaky because Jessica's walking. But if you look ahead where Solomon is, you see the security guard put his hand out and just like shove him in the arm, which is so weird. Why are you picking on the kid? And it was after Streets had just walked by. So you know what? Let's just look at it. Let's look at it and then we'll talk about it. But you got to watch close. It's a little hard to see. Check it out.
Fingers don't have brands. I know. It's crazy. Oh my God! What the hell was that?
What is your problem?
What do you do?
What is your problem? Did you just see?
I saw it.
wasn't even near your face.
Back up away from me.
He's a fucking loser in life. He tried to
Whoa!
lunge on me.
Whoa! He wouldn't have done that to anyone else.
You're the biggest loser doing that to a 16-year-old. You're
Yeah, crazy. It was a little thing, but it's like, why are you doing that to the kid? Especially right after Streets walks by. Yeah, nope. But I love that Solomon stood up for himself there. And he knew it wasn't okay. Okay, we're going to go over to Portland and see a very interesting interaction with Lisa's Day Off, who's been out there protesting at Portland. And she meets somebody out there protesting Scientology. And who walks by? Someone who just happens to be a declared suppressive person. Take a look at this.
I saw you out here. I wanted to say hi. I used to be on staff here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You used to be on staff here. Interesting. Interesting.
I watched the whole SPTV thing, so it's like.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's what kind of got. Well, actually, like 20 years ago, I went past the other one, the same one, but when it was over there. And I bought a Dianetics book. I was really interested.
Yeah.
I went and took a course, but then I was like online a lot and I kept coming across stuff. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not going to work for me. That is not going to work.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I've been like interested. You know, I read a bunch of stuff about it, and then I watched Leah's show. How long ago were you?
I think I was declared in like 2019, I think.
Oh, you're an SP.
Yeah,
Oh, you terrible SP.
I know.
Ooh.
Oh, I just thought that was so great. And hey, if you're watching this, I would love to connect and hear more about your story. Natalie at lifeafteraccult.com is where you can find me and we can connect. But how great is that? I just thought it was fun. You know, you're just out there protesting and boom, there's a suppressive person, allegedly, as called by Scientology. All right. Now we're going to go over to Denver, where Denver Scientology Audit, they were doing their St. Patrick's Day celebrations yesterday. There was a whole parade, and it was happening, some of it right out front in Scientology. So we actually have a couple clips, but Scientology was trying to get people to park in their parking lot, it looked like, welcoming them in. Because, you know, Scientology has this big old parking lot there in Denver and nobody really in it because there's just nobody really in the organization itself. There just aren't that many public. And we've heard of this, a similar thing in other areas where Scientology will use some of their big, beautiful empty buildings and have other groups who are doing legitimate work in the community come in and use their meeting hall, use the facilities, because Scientology is not really using it, and then turn around and do press releases about how they hosted the blah, 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 helping with the this, that. And it's like, no, you're the venue. You were just the venue. So I predict that soon we're going to see something come out that says Scientology hosted the St. Patrick's Day parade in Denver because they lent out their parking lot. I mean, it's all ridiculous. And yeah, even per Scientology Audit knows. Yeah, I was talking to Jay about that the other day, how there's such a massive empty car park. He says they rent spaces out or something. That makes sense. So let's take a look at Jay. Jay is such a sweetheart. He's doing such great work out there. Take a look.
These are the survivors of Scientology that are currently sharing their stories on YouTube. You could be one of them sharing your truth. Do you understand how y'all operate as a business and not a religion? So check out these wonderful signs that a fellow protester made and let me use. And we got this one with all the survivors. And we got this one right here. So we're gonna have some beautiful signs to show off today.
That's a Scientologist just like waving people in. It's creepy. Meanwhile, Jay's there, got his signs up, his fabulous green hat. It's just the difference. You look at the difference, it's a vibe. It's a feel, right? You look at the guy who's a Scientologist and all I look at and feel, and maybe I'm projecting, is just like sadness and just empty, right? And you look at like Jay and, you know, he's got the green hat on. He's there. He's just, you know, he has a presence. He's communicating. He would have a conversation with this guy. It's just so different. It's so different. It's so different. It's scary. It really is. But that's why people continue to expose Scientology, because you can see it. You can see it. Now, he was also educating some people about Scientology at the St. Patrick's Day parade right outside of the Denver organization. And I love this. Let's take a look at what was happening.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's a business operating under the guise of a religion to maintain tax-exempt status, so they're able to obtain properties and not have to pay taxes on them. So, like, they'll say that they're going to help you out with your life and come take this test, and pretty much everything's going to be wrong with you. So give us money to read this book, and then you'll have to take this course and pretty much to move up the bridge. Long story short, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Yeah, look up Life After a Cult.
Makes you a new creature in Christ. Does this happen to you? It's the only thing that you
These are the
concern yourself
survivors
today.
of Scientology.
Is that you right?
So he shares some ads of channels like my channel here and other people's channels. Then he was getting a little drowned out by the other protest that was going on because the guy had a megaphone there, but it was still seeing him out there. Great seeing him out there, especially with that many people. And I'll tell you what we didn't see, at least there, were Scientologists out there handing out their promo and their materials and recruiting. We did not see that. Maybe it happened at some place or at some other point. But I know when Jay was there, it doesn't look like that was happening because they know he would just go over and talk to them and let them know about Scientology and what the deal was. And yes, Susie SP Squirrel, every streamer has their own style because we are all different people. Every creator here on YouTube, in or outside of the SPTV community, are all individuals, just like the people out there protesting and live streaming are all individuals who have their own personality and their own way of doing things. And there are so many that it's, you can just go ahead and connect with the people that resonate. If that resonates with you, connect with that creator. If it's somebody you don't vibe with and you don't enjoy their content, then you just don't watch it. You don't watch it. But the ones you do, you do. All right. Also in Denver, I have not seen this channel before. Sweet Sun Slice, link down below to her channel, was there protesting also. And just kind of mentions briefly that it sounds like she might have gone into the organization. I'm not sure, but it sounds like she had a conversation with a couple Scientologists that she was referencing with her fabulous sign. So let's take a quick look at that.
I got to speak with an IAS member and two people at the front desk and one public Scientologist. It was great.
I just love that. I love the signs too that people come up with. Some of them are so creative. In fact, we're going to see one in Clearwater that I absolutely loved. I was thinking after this whole billboard thing, and you know how the Aftermath billboard was brought down by Clear Channel, who caved to pressure from Scientology. What if we made the billboards mobile, right? What if we put a billboard or something similar, maybe with even the new foundation that's coming up, or just to give people a place to go to, either foundation you want to send people to, and make it wearable, right? Maybe as merch where people can wear it like a billboard. Can you imagine a bunch of people wearing that all over the country, and definitely around Los Angeles or Clearwater, where there's so many Scientologists? Need help leaving Scientology? Boom, there's a number. Make them mobile. I like that idea. And that's kind of what we see in Clearwater. We're going to go look at that in a little bit. But first, we're going to pop over to Chicago. We're going to take a look at Trashy V12 BMW and what he came across when he was outside protesting in Chicago.
Good spot to do it. Yeah, we're trying to protest it. Like yeah, no problem. Yeah, hopefully they don't last long. Oh yeah.
That's funny because it sounds like she takes her dog over there on purpose, which is just fine. But what was interesting about that clip to me, I don't know how well you could hear it, is the woman who was walking her dog says, thanks him, like, thank you for protesting Scientology. Like the whole neighborhood does not want them there. Ooh, car magnet. Cindy, I like that idea. Those can be peeled off, but while you're driving around, absolutely. I love that. Susie SP Squirrel. Yeah, car magnets with the Aftermath and Aaron's Foundation numbers. I love that. But I thought that was really interesting, though, in Chicago. It's like you can tell. And when my Tony and I were there, that was totally the feel. So many people were surprised to see them there, didn't know that that's what that building was. But the consensus across the board was people were not happy about it, and they were concerned. And they were specifically concerned about the college students and their vulnerability, and being that they could fall more easily for a cult. And it's true. That's actually true. That can happen. Also in Chicago, Shannon, Chicago Scientology Audit. Shannon shared some news and update of what she's got going on, and something she said got me really excited. But let's take a look.
Things were going to get busier. You guys remember what the old Scientology organ like you here was like? Nobody was ever there. They were never doing anything. No body routing, no book selling, no nothing. They wouldn't even come out, especially if we were there. But they were doing nothing but preparing to make their move. Now that they've made the move, they're out and about all the time. And there are a lot more Sea Org members than I thought there were going to be. I don't know if that's a temporary thing or if that's permanent. There are a lot of people running around in their stewardess outfits and with their, like movie theater vests on. So yeah, anytime they come out and start trying to do damage, we're there. And we're growing, of course. But one thing I want to tell you guys is I want to start interviewing my subs, because I have heard so many stories involving Scientology that you guys wouldn't believe. And I really think it will move the discussion forward to hear these stories. Catherine, hopefully she's coming on soon. No, I know she is. I just hope it's sooner rather than later. But Monty just flushed birds out of the bush.
I love Monty too. Her dog is so adorable. I love this. I love that she's going to be interviewing people, her subscribers. Because again, there are so many people who have left or are leaving Scientology and are reaching out in different ways across multiple channels, including people who are currently live streaming and protesting. They're very inspired by it. And that's something I'm hearing a lot. They're seeing people who've never been in Scientology standing up to this bully who's been a big bully in their lives, for some of them, multiple generations. And they're finding strength in this and seeing this. So I love this. I love that Shannon is doing that, because it's just going to elevate those voices even more, of the ones that choose to come forward and share their stories. Many of them just want to come forward and say, hey, I'm here. Thank you for doing what you're doing. I recently left, or I've been under the radar, but now I'm going to leave for good. So many stories like that. And many of them aren't ready to be public about it, nor do they need to, unless it's something that they want to do. But the ones that want to, that's so great, because it brings attention again to the key points on why and what makes Scientology a human trafficking cult. And if you have any doubts about that, watch that video that I did with Louis Repetto. It's still getting me. In fact, I need to go back and watch it again, because there's some things he shared. I was like, whoa, that's how that works. That's why they did that with me. That's why they said that at that time. It was just eye-opening and scary as I'll get out. But it's important to know. It's such great information. Same thing with Blow Drill, the interview that I did with Dylan Gill. I'm going to have him on again too. Same thing. Amazing wealth of knowledge. So smart. And just really good at sharing those stories too. All right, let's go hop over to Switzerland with Freedom from Religion, who shares a clip walking by Scientology in Switzerland, which I've never seen. So I thought this was kind of cool. If you've ever wondered what Scientology looks like in Switzerland, here you go.
So, okay, so they're so proud. Look at there we go. That's what they have. It's Scientology along with these other august. Oh, hey, look at that. It's the permanent mission from Peru. By the way, I should tell you, and Brazil. The United Nations has a number of campuses here. And so that's why Peru would be here. I'm going to walk down here. It looks like it's all public. The first sign of any trouble, I'm skedaddling, because I don't want to break any rules in a foreign country and have any issues. I am here for work after all.
He does a little walk by, and there's more to it on the full video link below that you can go to and watch that whole thing and show him support. He's been to different Scientology organizations. Like he said, he travels for work and seems like he might be hitting one up in every town, which how cool is that? How fun is that? To be able to just, combine work and raising awareness about the crimes of Scientology and why it's a human trafficking cult. I think it's fabulous. I just love it. Oh, I love it so much. I love it so much. It's so great. Okay, so let's jump over. Where are we at now? We're going to talk a little bit about what went down in Clearwater. Clearwater is where yesterday the L. Ron Hubbard birthday event was being done and recorded live. So I'm sure David Miscavige was there, and there's new releases, and it is massive hip hip hooray time for the Scientologists. So they were out in full force, but you know who else was out? Aaron with Growing Up in Scientology, Laurie Plays, Spit Clearwater, Cheryl was there, Surrounded by Scientology, George, which was so cute. He brought donuts because if you guys remember in Chicago, Scientology stole my donuts and I am still butthurt about it. But George brought donuts there on my behalf and I thought that was super sweet of him. In fact, he reached out and wanted me to call in and say hi to everybody, but I was like, oh, I'm already in bed. Not camera ready, but I love that. It looked like they were having a great time. So let's take a little peek at what they were doing right at the Scientology building there in Clearwater for L. Ron Hubbard's big birthday event.
They delivered them. So Natalie, if you're on the live chat,
Natalie Webster?
yeah, they stole Natalie's donuts at Scientology, and they delivered them by mistake to Scientology. They didn't give them back.
Oh my God!
So we've got donuts for Natalie tonight if she makes it.
Oh my God!
And our other friends brought water.
This building someday is going to be a library. What do you think?
A library?
No, this is going to be. This is
All right, I
going to
gotta
be
take the wig off.
senior citizen
Oh,
housing,
man.
55 and up, apartments, and
All right, let me see this cake. Let's get a look at this cake.
Celebrate that old coot's birthday.
So it says, "Happy birthday, LRH," and "Happy birthday, happy 30 to life, Danny." Nice.
Very nice.
free Bob Ferris.
Hold on a second. I got to start the video.
I love that Laurie does that too. It's many of us are not going to let them forget that we have not forgotten that they're holding Bob Ferris.
All right.
Paid by the hour. Happy birthday, LRH. Happy 30 to life, Danny.
Just so fun, just out there having cake, having a little party. It's so great. There was a sign. I got to show you this sign. I absolutely loved it. I want it. I got to ask him how he made it. Well, you'll see. Take a look at this.
Here we are. A great bow on the go idea.
Let's see what we got going on here.
Look at that.
I love it. That is amazing.
We are asking people if you would like to discuss this with us. Please do so, and you argue pick which point you'd like to argue with.
I love that. Scientology is a full service cult. Child trafficking, elder abuse, family destruction with disconnection, criminal SA cover up. And then he lists channels under there as well that people can go to and learn more on YouTube, but has it so that he can wear it and then, not have to hold it.
And let's have a discussion.
Walking billboard.
It's
It'll
great.
help you clear the planet. Let's talk about it.
That's a great sign. Thanks, man. That's a full service cult.
I love that. That's such a great sign. I want one now. I want to get a sign made. I like the magnet idea. I like that, actually. And hey, Blow Drill, I saw you were in the comments there too. Always good to see you. And I thought I saw something you said. Blow Drill says, I would love to do interviews with people who support and be able to acknowledge how much it means to people like me. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. We are about due again to do another interview with you as well. So we should chat about getting that set up. Maybe this week we should do it. Yes, we should do it. And I love the idea of you doing this. You'd be absolutely fantastic at it. And I would love to see it. That is something I would absolutely watch. So I hope you do it, Dylan. Let me know if there's anything at all I can do to help make that happen. And I agree, Karmic Peace, Blow Drill, you are awesome. And your information is always, we don't see enough interviews with you. Yes, I agree. I agree. He's got such a great point of view. I've had a few conversations with him, and I'm just amazed by his ability to take the Scientology BS and explain it with an understanding of psychology and how the brain works today. I think he really can go a long way in helping people newly even out of Scientology, because I know what helps me a lot even today is understanding the correct terminology for a lot of what happens in Scientology, labeling it correctly. Scientology has their own language. And so what means one thing in the outside world doesn't mean that in Scientology. In the outside world, being open-minded is a beautiful thing. In Scientology, you're indoctrinated to believe that it's a horrible thing and you should not be open-minded. I'm telling you. Hey, Spit Clearwater, great to see you. We like to imagine what all these buildings will become when Scientology meets its demise. Whoa, that is such a great point, especially in Clearwater, where it's like a ghost town around there, which is what will happen if Scientology expands into other communities. They're like a cancer. It just grows and things die around it. We don't want to see that. Yep, it was great seeing Clearwater chat and Poe as well. Absolutely. Laurie, that's right. Hashtag free Bob Ferris. Laurie, you always bring the party. I'm dying to go to Clearwater. I really am. I've talked to my Tony about it. We're just trying to figure out when we can make that happen. But it is on our list sooner than later to do that and to be able to go and do an interview in Aaron's new studio. How fun would that be? So we need to figure out how we're going to make that happen. We were looking at a little later, but I want to do it sooner. Dylan, you're so sweet. He says, if you resonate with Scientology Life After a Cult, share, like, and make sure you sub. She's doing the heavy lifting. I do not feel like I'm doing the heavy lifting. I feel like the people out there who are protesting and live streaming are doing the heavy lifting. I'm just trying to bring awareness to it, but I appreciate that so much. Such a sweetheart, Dylan. You know what? Well, maybe I shouldn't bring that up now. I'll tell you later, Dylan. Oh, Crafting Emily, good idea. You need that sign to help with muscle spasms. That's right. Because when I went to protest, because of my condition, if I'm on my feet for any length of time, I can get muscle spasms, and holding up a selfie stick was enough to do it for a couple hours. But yeah, that would be great. I could just wear it. And then I could just bring a chair. And then when I need to sit down, I can sit down and rest and then stand up and do more protesting. That's what I should have done, is just brought some kind of chair or had a place just where I can kind of sit it out. Oh, this is awesome. So Spit Clearwater, by the way, is the person who had that billboard. He says, thanks for the shout out. I ordered a few online, way more affordable than you'd think. Totally. Signs these days, you got to tell us where you got them, because I know a couple sign places, but would love to know where you're getting them. Absolutely, because that really was great. Ooh, Susan, good idea. Want that sign as a t-shirt. Oh yeah, that would be fun too. I love it. And remember, if you see something, say something, email me, Natalie at lifeafterocult.com. When you send me video links, if you could please put the timestamp, at 1 hour and 25 minutes, this is what I saw. Or if you know how to clip videos and what you're showing me is less than 60 seconds, you can do that too. Just remember to put the time in there, because sometimes I'll get a great video, but it'll be one I haven't seen yet. And it's like 4 hours. I'm like, okay, what part of the video? They're more likely to be included the more clear and easy it is for me to view it. A lot of it I see, but like I said, I take so much of what you guys say and share into consideration. Then that's kind of what we base on what we talk about, how we base. That doesn't make sense at all. We base what we talk about, I do, a lot on your feedback and what you guys are talking about, which we see in different chats And I'm often over there. I'm a lurker. Bet you guys didn't know that about me. I'm a lurker. I will be in the chat and I will not say anything. Sometimes, but often I lurk. See what y'all are talking about. Per Scientology Audit, thank you so much for that. A staff member at the Perth org told me that Narconon has a 98% success rate. Yeah, and I'm a size 0. No. Okay, if Narconon had a 98% success rate, truly, in reality, that would be being studied. It would be making so much news because the average success rate in a legitimate rehab, I forget exactly what it was. Unfortunately, I remember it being kind of a low number. 98% is ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. But thank you so much for sharing that. And also, per Scientology Audit, you guys should go subscribe to her because she's got some great content coming out of Australia. I love the conversation with the new Scientologist. I just love it. Roxy, you're so right. A lot of talented people out there contributing to the cause of bringing down this destructive cult. Absolutely. And I got to tell you, even being here, listening, sharing, liking the video, subscribing to the channels, however you can or choose to support, it all helps. There is a role and a way for everybody to help. One thing that I'm working on right now, and some of you have emailed me, I'm getting caught up on those emails so I can put them all together and maybe do a group email. I've been, as you know, if you caught my interview with William Gude, Scientology Audit Streets LA a few days ago, he said he could use help in putting together these clips that are needed of each officer and their dirty deeds. So there's so much of them. So it would be like a video of Officer Talman, and here are all the clips. Here are the timestamps in the video. Here is what you're looking at. And then what I'm thinking is we're going to break it down. So there's some people who will be doing research and gathering, and then there's some who will be putting the actual videos together. And then there may be one ultimate overall video. So if you are interested, if you have emailed me, just be patient. I got to catch up with those emails. But if you want to help out, let me know. Natalie at lifeafteroccult.com, because I want to get that done sooner than later. Yeah. Ooh, Free Zulu Project. You got to go back and catch up. Streets got served. A new suppressive person showed up on the scene in Portland. Like all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff has been happening. That's a good point, Bad Thayton. I imagine once the cancer is gone, the city will grow back. Yeah. And Clearwater will thrive. Downtown Clearwater, once again, similar to its surrounding cities where it should be this thriving area. It'll be so much better for the businesses. Feral Cheryl, oh my God, Natalie, please come to Clearwater. I want to. We were just looking at flights. We got a couple things to work out. Mainly the dog. Having Odin, somebody take care of Odin. But I have some family. We're working that out, and then figure out how we can both go at the same time and be there. But I want to come so bad and see you guys. We got to work it out. We got to work it out. Hey, Feral Cheryl, let me know too if you know if there's anybody there too. We thought about doing like a VRBO, but maybe stay with somebody too if that's an option. I am severely allergic to cats. So that's a thing. Cannot be a house with cats. My Tony is fine with the cats, but I will just be a sneezing hot mess with my allergies. Lori plays, that's so funny. No one said a word about our party at Flag's front door. That's so hilarious. Okay, let's see. I exiled New Yorker. I don't have an answer to this. Why don't the homeless camp in Clearwater? I don't know. I do not know. That might be a good question for Lori Plays or Feral Cheryl who are there. If you guys want to answer that in the chat. Hey, Neuropsych. No, I don't have Oliver again tonight. They're going to head home. They spent the night last night. All right. Diana's asking, is anyone here going on the SP cruise in September? I'd be for a get together, but I'm never getting on a cruise ship. Oh, that's funny. Selfless self, you make a good point. 100%. The people on the street are risking their safety and their livelihoods, and in some cases, their very lives. The swatting has been absolutely dangerous. Sandy McKenna, I'm so glad you guys had a great time. It looked like a great time. I wish I could have jumped on the call with George, but I was already like lights out. This was just all a mess. It would have been dark. But I'm so glad that you guys have fun. And I know there's going to be a lot more of that to come. Let's see. Oh, that's a great idea. Mother Stoneheart, you can use a handbag strap to hold the sign around your neck. True. Look like they're using bungee cords too. Gotta love a good bungee cord. So many uses. So many uses. Yeah, Jeanette, those chairs that are fold up like a golf bag are great. There too. I've got these beach chairs that you can wear as a backpack. Maybe I'll just do that. Except they're low to the ground, but you know, then the up and down, but they are comfortable. I could do that. I could do that for sure. I love that idea. Kimberly Sweet, thank you so much for that. Challenge. Let's get Natalie and my Tony to Clearwater. Please help them to reach that goal. We love us some activated SPs. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that. Bad Thayton says, if the foundation made that billboard into t-shirts and hoodies, if protesters wore them, it might work out better than a billboard. That's exactly what I was thinking. Make it mobile. Make it mobile. Make it how great if it was done in a way that people really liked the merch and the shirt to wear it in addition to what it was saying, and it became like a fashion trend. I think it would be great. I really do. I want to make one. I don't know what it would be though. I don't know what it would be, but I think I'd like to do that. And now I got to make myself a cool sign, especially if we're going to be going to Clearwater. Oh, I didn't realize I fell so behind in the chat. Yes, I am spying on your chats and other streams. I'm a total lurker. Which is funny when you think about it. But that's part of it too. And my Tony, he gets in the chats too. We just like to see, what are people talking about? What's the buzz? What's happening? And remember to hit that like button too, people, while you're here. Free Xenu Project, thank you so much. Natalie, that Perth stat is the % success rate is based off of the one Scientologist that said they helped them. Maybe it was the opposite, 2%. And even that, I think, would be generous. Oh, especially some of the horrific stories that we've heard about Narconon and these treatment facilities. Oh, they're just the worst. They're just the worst, truly. Yep, you're right. More fun than sitting at home. That's Diane, our favorite Scientology spy. Diane, if you are still in the chat, tell me, are you still getting emails and calls from Scientology? Because I thought having you on the channel 2 times would make that stop. But if it hasn't, we can always do it again. She says, so many from all over now contributing worldwide. This has been amazing to watch and be part of. I agree. I am amazed. I'm amazed by everybody that goes out there. You just drive by and video. You walk by and video. You're bringing awareness to that Scientology is in your community. And, you know, sometimes people, they come for the entertainment and stay for the education. And a lot of times these live streams, there's so much that happens. It's actually hard to capture a lot of what happens. Like I said, I just capture a snippet, but there's so much more that's going on that you can see when you watch these whole videos. Absolutely. Oh, that's right, neuropsych. I left my earring fell off. I was wearing my green, just my earrings, and I lost one. Yep, so many good people out there. Oh, okay. So the earlier question about the homeless in Clearwater, Sandy McKenna says that, why isn't there? Clearwater has quite a few homeless shelters. So maybe that's why, because they have facilities for people who are homeless and they're not out on the street in Clearwater. Lori Play says that Clearwater does have homeless. They hang out around the bus stop, sleep in front of Scientos empty buildings for one. Okay, so maybe they come out later. Oh, that's sad. But a lot of people do not like cruises. I went on one, but it was a really unique one. And I feel like it ruined me for the average cruise because it was such an incredible, it was partly for work for me, but it was amazing. Amazing. No wristbands. No, everybody had a butler. It was weird. In a good way. In a good way. For me, it was weird because that's so not the world that I live in. And I felt like a castaway the entire time I was there, even though I was legitimately there. Did not feel like I fit in, but I loved it nonetheless. Yep, car magnets are a great idea. I think Lily Lil, information about the cruise you can get from, who is it? Chow Young. Tell me in the chat or in the comments. Maybe you guys know that person's handle. I know that, Reese, Relatable Reese. Go over to her channel. I think I remember hearing that she was going, so she might have more information on it as well. Joe, great to have you here. Just noticed you're live as I was catching up on Confident Chris live from last night. We need more mini streets videos. I don't think Confident Chris can put them out fast enough. I want to see more and more of that. Needy for the W. If Cult of Scientology believes that people had other lives and were other genders in past lives, how do they explain their homophobia? They don't explain it. They claim not to be homophobic while actively trying to audit and do ethics handlings on people who are. Because L. Ron Hubbard said that they were, if you were a homosexual or practiced homosexuality, that you were a covert hostility was like a level that he pinned it at. All this just, it wasn't, and it was probably more the popular thought at the time too when he wrote it, but Scientology never updated it because they can't change what L. Ron Hubbard said. So they just try to bury it and say that, no, they're not that way. When I know for a fact, they seem to forget that there are more people out of Scientology than in Scientology. And I mean ex-Scientologists. There are more ex-Scientologists than current Scientologists. And they seem to forget that we were there. And so we know and we remember what it was like. So you can't just be going on and saying like, oh, you're not homophobic when we all know you are. Dempsey, it took you a long time to realize Natalie and Tony are a couple. Yes. That's why sometimes I'll say that I'm sleeping with one of my moderators, but I'm not telling you which one. Some people put that together. And Tony and I went and protested together. Was it last weekend or the weekend before in Chicago? Time is just flying by so fast. So fast. Ooh, literally Lisa. Natalie, thank you so much for your recaps. I've learned a ton. I'm in the planning phase of getting family out of the Scientology castle in South Africa. She's there with 3 small children. Wow. How does she have children is she a staff member? If there's anything you think I can do to help, you can email me, Natalie@lifeafteroccult.com, even if it's just kind of explaining some Scientologies. Plenty of people too on these channels that you're going to find that could help. Absolutely. A couple things I need to look into. Yeah, bumper stickers too. That would be good. That's a fun one. I love your guys' ideas with this. Selfless Self says, if I am in front of a computer that is powerful enough to keep as many streams going as possible to support all of the streamers and switch back and forth for camera angles. Yeah, that's a fun idea too. I do that too. I'll look at something and I'll go look at it on another stream to get a different angle. And then you can see more as well. Yeah, that's right, Judy Dolan. Check your subscribe button. Hit it. Or smash, right? Isn't that what my grandson says too? Smash that subscribe button. I love it. Gosh, you guys just have the best ideas. And I love how you support each other too. We have a great chat. Now, I don't know. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of comments about Jeff was hit by a Scientologist with a car. Did that happen today? I don't know anything about it, but when we're done with this live, I'll find out. I will find out. Regardless, I hope he's okay. Here we go. Lori Place, Chow Yun Smut. Look her up on YouTube. She can tell you about the cruise. Sounds like she's coordinating it. Excuse me. Oh, Lori, you're going on the cruise. That's so awesome. Oh, you guys are going to have so much fun. I don't think that's something that I'll be able to make. Yeah, but that's fantastic. You're going to have fun. Anywhere that you are, Lori, is going to be fun. Oh, you're right. Kimberly, not enough hours in the day. I feel you there. I feel you there. Okay, I was wearing green, but I lost the back of my earring on one and it fell out. So I just took them both out. But this was my green. I got pinched earlier by my grandson enough that I went and put on my green earrings. In fact, if you are a member, go to the video. I did a members only video with Oliver, and he took over the stream for a while because I had to go find my green earrings, and I need to go back and watch and see what happened. Hopefully y'all behaved, which I assume you did. Spit Clearwater, thank you so much. Worked as an RN before in a detox in Tampa. I recall 2 patients that came from Narconon because they got sick and needed real medical care. Ooh, one was someone I went to school with. His mom was on staff and grandma in the Sea Org. Oh, wow. Well, one, I'm glad that they sent the person to the hospital. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Anna Casillas, oh, you're going on the cruise too. Fun. I can't wait to hug you in person. This is for Lori Plays. We're going to have so much fun on that cruise. You totally are. You totally are. Sounds like a blast. Afila, Natalie, do you do your own interior design too? Your setup is so pretty. Thank you. I picked out the wallpaper in the back, but honestly, my Tony has such a better eye for it. He used to have a high-end men's clothing store, European fabrics. His father was in that industry for his entire life. So he's done many things in his career over time, done a ton of traveling, but he definitely has always had an eye. Always had an eye. I don't. Well, you know what? When it comes to homes, I being in real estate, you learn a few things when you work with a lot of designers, but it's mostly Tony. He's got a better eye than I do. Oh yeah, I think Jeff PTS for life is okay, but we're going to find out for sure. Mother Stoneheart, every one of Aaron's videos has 30,000 plus views. So in reality, a single one of his videos has more views than there are Scientologists in the world. That's so true. We have 16,000 and some subscribers right now on the channel. When we get to 20, then I think we can safely say we probably have, because I think it's generous to say that there are 20 or 30,000 Scientologists, active Scientologists on the planet. So that's exciting to get to where you have more subscribers than there are potentially active Scientologists. So Diane, more fun than sitting at home, says no new emails. Still have lots of old emails, lots of hang-up calls and being followed. Scientology snail mail too. Okay. See, they didn't take you off the mailing list. So it seems like Betsy from Scientology is not calling you anymore, but they didn't take you off the mailing list. So hard to get off of. That's interesting, Diane. Oh, that reminds me, we do need to go through more of those emails. Oh, I swear I could do 5-6 videos a day if I had the time. There's so much to talk about. So much to talk about. So Fluffer Squirrel UK is saying a car backed up into him. This is Jeff at PTS for Life. Jeff, it's okay. He said he'll call the police soon. Okay, good. Good to know. Good to know. Thanks for sharing that. Catherine L. reminding everybody to hit the like button, y'all. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. Surrounded by Scientology. Hey, George. Thank you so much for the donuts, by the way. It was very much, I loved your acknowledgement because, yeah, they stole my donuts and I'm not going to let them forget about it. Forget the 35 years and 3 generations of my family that you messed with Scientology. You just messed with my donut. So it gets real now. It gets real. My Tony food truck featuring Natalie Donuts. Oh, that'd be so great. Yeah, Tony's an amazing. He just does everything amazing. That's kind of the thing. Each thing I'm like, wow, you're so good at that. How do you do that? Then he does something else. I'm like, you're so good at that. I feel like I'm just kind of a one-trick pony, you know, but he's got like all these different things that he knows how to do. But that is why we've been together for over 10 years now. Never a dull moment. What are you guys doing? It is St. Patrick's Day today. Okay, so your family that was in, I know she's ex-Sorg, and I'm not sure how she's there with little kids. There must be some sort of housing for them. I believe she's going up the bridge, but I'm not completely sure. So she's probably a public person. But if they're living, and the living arrangements is what I'm curious about. Yeah, I would be curious about that. Bad Thetan. Hip hip hooray. I like to do that for the new members too. If you don't know, that is from Scientology, because they would always say the hip hip hooray when acknowledging L. Ron Hubbard. And I decided to take it back and do some exposure therapy. And now it doesn't actually bother me at all. Now I kind of like it, especially when I found out that people in Australia they do still say that it's hip hip hooray is like a thing still there. I had a couple of people tell me about that, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, good, me and Taz. Don't worry, Natalie. Oliver held his own. He read a couple of chats. It was adorable. Okay, good. I figured it was safe to leave him alone for the 2 minutes I needed to go grab my earrings, so I didn't have to stop the live. And, you know, I wasn't that far, but I couldn't see anything on the computer. So I trusted you members with my grandson, but I wasn't far. I'm glad he did well and didn't spill too many family secrets, like there are any. They're all here on the channel and the internet. All right. I think I just wanted to make sure I got all the questions. Yeah, neuropsych, you guys love food and each other. That is so true of me and my Tony. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kareen, yeah, I do. I have the petition. I should start sharing that again. I was sharing it for regularly in the description of every video. I will take a look at that and get that added back in. Okay. Let's see. Yep, selfless self. I very much hope you have a great sense of accomplishment on getting your family out of Scientology and then turning around and doing whatever you can to help others the best. Yes. Yes and no. Sometimes I feel like I've not slowed down enough to even really think about all of that. I don't know about you guys. Sometimes my days, and I'm thankful to be able to be in a position where I can do this, but it's this. And I also I work in real estate. I love it, but it is incredibly time consuming. And it just goes one thing. You know, I wake up at 5. I spend about 2.5 hours getting ready for the show, do the show, and then I'm usually on to work. But now I've been doing some interviews in the afternoon as well. So I can kind of do 2 videos a day on the regular, and then maybe even a bonus one sometimes. But it's all working out and coming together. And it's been incredibly healing for me in ways that I didn't know could be healing. Being able to freely talk about Scientology, being able to make fun of it, being able to laugh at the things that I find funny. Not everybody's going to find that funny. People are in different spots when it comes to their healing. And on my channel, when you guys are with me, it's from my point of view and what I'm sharing, but it doesn't mean that everybody is at that spot in their healing. I don't know if that makes sense. It kind of goes back to there are multiple creators here on SPTV and on YouTube, and everybody doesn't do it the same way, and they shouldn't either. That's why I think we need multiple foundations. It's just a good practice to have multiple places somebody can go to get help leaving Scientology. And my hope is that they expand to helping people leaving cults of all kinds, because really that's my long-term goal. Scientology is just the first one because it's the one I'm connected to. But when we're done with Scientology or done enough, right, where it's just really on its way out, but that has definitely started, I would love to bring more awareness to other cults because the playbook is very similar. Very similar. So many people never in Scientology who are going and who follow my channel recognize that they often see the result and the impact of their trauma as well that may not have been a cult, but it's the same kind of outcome because manipulation, brainwashing, mind control, gaslighting, all of that is not unique to Scientology. L. Ron Hubbard just put his own stink on it and came up with more twisted ways to make that happen and somehow normalize it within Scientology. So you don't see it. You don't know you're being reprogrammed when you're being reprogrammed in Scientology. You don't even know you're in a cult. So when often people hear the truth about Scientology and they're like, why do people stay? Because they don't recognize it as that. They don't know that. It's something that they wake up to, and these protests and raising awareness and getting this message out on so many different platforms gets the word out because the algorithm will feed Scientologist this content because they're probably watching, what they consider to be legitimate Scientology content. But if the internet and YouTube is full of the truth about Scientology and what we do, that's what YouTube will show to them. So every time you like a video, every time you do something to support a channel, it gets that message out. Janet from another planet, thank you for becoming a member. Hip hip hooray to you as well. That's just absolutely fabulous. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. All right, I am going to wrap it up. I think I got to most of your questions and comments. I appreciate so much all of you being here all the time. So tomorrow, during the week, you can find my weekday wrap up at 8 a.m. Central Time. And then we do it at 10 a.m. Central Time on Saturday and Sunday. If you see something, say something. You got a clip, you got a video with a timestamp, email it to Natalie@lifeafteraccult.com. We can't always share everything because we have a limited amount of time. But don't hesitate to send it. Just know that I appreciate you. I can't always respond to all the emails, but I want you to know I appreciate it, that you took the time to even do that and send it. And I try to respond to as many as I can. But the beauty of it, I guess it's I would rather be able to respond to everything, but that's just become impossible. But that's a good problem to have because that means we're growing the channel and we're reaching more people. And so many of you are so good at being able to answer questions for people in the chat that I might miss, but because you've been following the channel. I appreciate that as well. And I think it's absolutely fabulous. So hit that like button on your way out. Check that subscribe button. That's an important one. And I will talk to you guys later. I hope you all get out there and have an amazing cult-free day.